Welcome to Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast, your weekly dose of many discussions and opinions about today's society, cultures, relationships, and relationships. A show where we get comfortable being uncomfortable with a little bit of love and plenty of rawness. And remember, no topic is off limits. Now let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. This is your host, Misty. I usually say your favorite, but you guys already know that. And we are live, guys. Oh my God. First of all, can you believe this is episode 60? Woo! And second of all, can you believe Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast just had its first live show? And it was everything and then some. All right. So I did say that I was going to share a little bit of the behind the scenes and just what happened on the day of the live show. But most importantly, of course, I want to just, piggyback off of what this Mini-Sode Tuesday series was on a high. I'm not high today, guys, but I'm still on a high. I'm kidding. I'm not. It's not that I'm over it. I'm totally not. But I'm finally settling into the emotions and settling into reflecting what that was for me, the whole experience. And so I want to definitely begin by giving a shout out to a few people who absolutely stepped in. You guys already know I pride myself in saying this is a one-woman show, and it is a one-woman show. I don't have a team. I don't have staff. I don't have anyone. Like, I'm the audio engineer, I'm the producer of the show, of every single episode, I'm the executive producer. I do it all. I do the artwork. I mean everything, like, except my main show artwork. That one is a huge shout out once again to DJ Brian from Everybody Relax Podcast, who did my dope as fuck logo. Now, but I've been blessed. I've been blessed because I have been planning this live show. And I've said this before. I've been planning this live show since I always knew I wanted a live show. Let me begin with that. I always knew I wanted to do something in real time, real live momentum, the chemistry, the vibe, the connection with an audience. Once I knew just how much I enjoyed speaking into this microphone, I knew I wanted to have a live show. Never mind the fact that I have attended podcast live shows. I mean, like, why not? You get to really interact with people face to face and continue to sharing with them, about you, about your life, about your interests, a topic that hits home in that moment, what have you. And I always knew I wanted to do it. And the real planning definitely started for me around my birthday, which is in November. And I knew I wanted to do this. I knew I wanted to have it as a combination with just celebrating what the show has meant, not only to me, but also to my listeners. If I take you guys back, if you've been listening to the episodes, or if you're a new listener, please go back and binge listen. I have had listeners reach out to me for advice, send me an email for advice, sharing their stories with me. I've had listeners just share a good laugh with me about something that happened to them that also happened to me. Y'all remember that lady at work with that unsolicited dick pic? Okay. Like, I've had people reach out to me on DMs, on private messages, on phone calls, on text messages about something that resonated with them, something that I've shared on the show or discussed or brought to the table and to these microphones, has touched them, has impacted them, has made a difference or hit home. And I think that is exactly why I was even more so motivated to do this live show, because I knew that there was still more I can open up with and open up to you guys about. For those who were able to join virtually, thank you so much for supporting and for coming on the show and listening to what I felt was the right moment to share just a deeper side of me and to be able to tackle a few things about life. I mean, don't we always talk about that shit? We do. And still in that moment, I still had something new to talk about. I mean, it was just all just so crazy to me. The whole experience, the fact that I was able to have a conversation with all of you virtually. Some of you attended in person. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and for coming to just support and to just celebrate with me this moment in this show's and this production's history, right? I mean, like, if support doesn't go a long way, well, honestly, I don't know what it, you know what, let me take that back. Support does go a long way, but there's things that go even a further way. You know what that is? That's when people give you their time. That's when people give you their time, their hands on deck, their support. Not just like, oh, I'm here to support you and let me share this on my social media platforms. No. I mean their support, like one way or another, they are present and they are there. Even if it's just to help you think, even if it's just to help you plan, even if it's just for an idea or for some form of clarity to help you step by step, like that just goes such a long way. It makes such a huge difference. And so I definitely want to give a shout out to my two best friends, Erica and Natalie. We've been friends since we're 17 years old, and you know, the level of them being just so supportive, but most importantly just keeping me on track and in check. It was just phenomenal. It was everything that I fucking needed, because when I tell you, even to the last minute, I forgot a few things, okay? But they did it. They kept me up. They kept me going. There was a lot of planning behind the scenes happening with Nicole and Tina. And so a shout out to them. Shout out to Tina for just like keeping me motivated, keeping me very hyped up. Every time I was saying something, yes, boo, yes. It's Nicole, because she showed up and she just jumped right into it. What you need help with, right along with Erica and Nat. I want to give a huge shout out to another motivational source. Some of you guys know her as Captain Kim from Everybody Relax podcast. She, and also blogger of She Speaks Free. She was definitely been a guest on the show, but she was also just such a motivational point in this entire process. And by point, I mean my point person. There were things that I would share with her, things that I needed an extra set of eyes. And she was just very helpful. And as a fellow podcaster, someone in the industry, to be able to help out, even though could we say we're still rookies? I mean, I don't know. We've been doing this for some time. But even on that aspect, like for her to be able to just offer that type of support was just beyond me, and so appreciative on this end. So thank you. I want to give an enormous shout out, and like, this is not the shouting out episode, but fuck it is. Enormous fucking shout out to Shay from Another Shot podcast, who I have met through this platform. I have met through this industry. I tune into her dope as fuck show because I just love the chemistry between her and her co-host, who is her husband, Chris. But also, like, we've seen each other grow throughout this process in our shows, and we've seen each other just evolve in our craft and our creativity, and just being in the same space of, the producers and the audio engineers and just really pushing forward with our shows. And to have the pleasure of her coming out to support and meeting her in person for the first time. We're Scorpio bitches. If you go back to a few episodes, she's been a guest. We discussed Scorpio myths. And I mean, Scorpios don't tend to really hug, but when I tell you, I received the strongest and most welcoming hug from Shay. It was by far the best thing I needed at that moment, right before the show would start. And her level of support and hands on deck and just jumping right into action, helping me with the entire production in that moment in real time, teaming up with other women who she never met from a hole in the wall, but everybody just figured out a way to just be so supportive, all for one cause, for me, for my show to be a success, which is fucking amazing. And I cannot not give recognition to them. It was just so emotional, but at the same time fulfilling. It was like, yeah, those are my girls. You know what I mean? And the last person I want to give a huge shout out to and a huge thank you to, I shouldn't say the last person. This is the second to last person, is the woman who presented me, someone who we kind of started out on our endeavors with our businesses and our creativity. Bagels and Pretzels, Naomi, my very good friend. She has also been a guest on the show, started with her blog Off Duty Mommy, and now she just has taken her nutritional coaching into it's a testimony in itself. Naomi, thank you so much for presenting me, for your kind words, offering as an introduction to my audience, both virtually and in person, and for just always being so supportive. And my very last person, and I'm gonna try and stay being a G, and I'm not gonna fucking cry, but I might, I won't, because I'm a G. To my sister Patty. Some of you had the opportunity to meet her in person on the Day of My Live show. Some of you may have seen her on the screen. Whoever was so supportive getting her virtual tickets, thank you again. My sister has been someone who, there is nothing in this world, right or wrong, that I have done that she has not supported. She has been someone who I have, throughout all my years, just looked up to and have admired in so many different ways, and she has continued to be such an inspiration to me. And they say, like you have sisters, and all my best friends are that. And they're my chosen few, and they know that. I think I'm one of those few people who has been so blessed that my chosen few have been able to have great friendships and partnerships also with my sister. And the reason I say that is because it is through her that I've been able to see what a sister really is. It is through her that I know her and I can fight every single day over the dumbest shit or the most serious shit, but there is not one day I won't fight for her. And it has meant the entire world to me to see her, be so supportive and present in that moment. Someone who, without giving too much detail, has her own busy life, has her own stressors, is a mom, is a wife, is a working woman, and she still made it her business to wake up and be front and center for me. And she did that to be I guess you could say representation of my two brothers who couldn't be there. One, unfortunately, has a commitment to his job, which he is a very essential worker. And the other was actually conducting another service, and that is taking care of my teenager and taking him to a pretty dope as fuck soccer game. So kudos to my big brother for that. And I'm just so overwhelmed with it. I did not doubt for a second that my sister would be supportive. I just think that what really got me emotional was that she literally, my sister literally had my entire fucking back and front throughout that entire day for that performance, for that show. And so now that I've held all my tears back because I'm a G, we're going to continue on to the show with the behind the scenes. But before I do, a quick recognition to the show sponsors who contributed in by any means necessary in every single way possible that they could, offering to give the raffles away. We've already announced raffle winners on the day of the show, but also we've already have the winners the winner for the virtual raffle as well. I hope those who won those baskets absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for participating on the day of the show. And for our virtual winner as well, your merch is coming soon. And that's right, you guys heard it. The merch is going live. So you want to definitely go sign up to my mailing list so you can get all the juicy details. And again, to those sponsors, we're going to just name them really quick and thank them once again for just pulling through. I mean, I really only pitched to 2 people, and then like the sponsors just came right in. So a huge shout out to Cannabis Queen of Queens, run by Canna Mom, operated with an exceptional drive and high. Get your dose of her blends. This is my girl, Sully. Thank you so much for your contribution. We also have Hidden Treasures by Sarita, a mompreneur with a hidden touch of jewelry to accessorize your life, and such an amazing support from her as well. Thank you again, Sarita. We have Mermaid and the Lion Entertainment from the Mermaid and the Lion podcast and the Forgiven podcast. They have also sponsored our event. This is a creative power couple building an empire, multifaceted partnership of many talents, producers, podcasters, and writers. That's right, guys. We also have, I'm not finished. We also have one of my favorites. Yes, I said it. They're my favorites. I don't care who says what. And besides the fact that she was there front and center to help me because I needed it, she also became a sponsor. Her and her husband, Another Shot Podcast. Thank you so much. Another power couple creative in the podcasting industry for sponsoring our show, sponsoring virtual tickets. There were a lot more people who were able to attend, so thank you so much for that. And last but not least, our sponsors, There Should Always Be Cake. Woman-owned business, Afro-Latina business, right here in my community. Such an amazing experience to be able to reach out for sponsorship, and she was more than game to provide that level of support. And it has been such an experience, even going through that process, which I'm going to share with you guys. But thank you once again. I will be tagging their names in the show description, so you guys can go follow them and check them out. So now let's dive right into this experience of the behind the scenes. So a few minutes ago, I talked about having a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. Well, guess what? Your girl, Ms. D, did not have a whole plan A, plan B, or plan C. I, of course, only established a plan A. And it was on a very tight schedule. Why, you may ask? Well, because I don't just have days off. I don't. I work a job. I would love to say it's a 9-to-5 job, but it's not. It's more than that. I have a full-blown career. I am also, with my career, an essential worker. And so there is a demand in my role. There is a demand with my job itself. And there was no way that I could just have a day off, being that we are in a specific time of our calendar where our need needs to be front and center, in-house. And so I was not able to take a day off. I was not able not even to take any form of leeway to dedicate just to this in the days coming up to the live show. So when I tell you everything was being done hour by hour, everything was being done hour by hour, because even though I had plans ahead and even though things were going pretty smooth, I'm still here pushing forward with a full-blown career, and I'm still pushing forward with a full-blown show. And, I'm still a mom. And I've said this before, right? This is a one-woman show, literally, in every sense of the word. And so as much as I advocated that, we should establish a plan A, plan B, plan C, because you just never fucking know when plan A is not going to happen, your girl didn't fucking do that. And so I stuck to a plan A, the only plan. Okay, so let's take it all the way back to the night before of the show. Everything was fine. I settled everything up into one corner just so I don't forget a single thing. And that was great. I did a wonderful job with that. Cool. I had done my lashes the day before, which was amazing. They still look good and popping. And then I decided to, of course, leave my nails, mani and pedi, my makeup the morning of together, right? So I'm up at the crack of dawn. I go to my, mani and pedi appointment, which by the way, and this is why we do need a plan A, plan B, plan C. And it doesn't matter if you are a man, because this also applies to you as well. Okay. Do not leave those type of me times to the very last hour. It should be done days in advance. And in good old fashioned Ms. D, I fucking left it to the last hour. So much so that it was almost canceled the before. Needless to say, my manicurist is bomb as fuck, and she made it the fuck work, and she was there for me, and my nails and my toes is popping. But the point is, it could have gone real left, like real left, because at the time that I almost found out that she almost may have needed to cancel, I don't know who the fuck was gonna do my fucking nails, and we was gonna have a problem. So kudos to my manicurist, Mari. She is the bomb.com. Okay, as soon as I was done there, I ran over to makeup artists. This is the smart thing I did do, right? The smart thing I did do was I literally mapped it out. When I say literally mapped it out, I mean I mapped it out. It was point A, point B, point C. I didn't have plan A, plan B, plan C, but I had point A, point B, point C. What does that mean? That means that my manicurist from my house was a quick walk away. Then the cab ride to the makeup artist was another quick ride away. Everything was in close proximity. So that was the only smart thing I did do with this entire little fiasco of the morning time. The makeup artist, absolutely amazing. Shout out to her. I'm actually going to tag her name in the show description. But my look was just so dope. Shout out to my bestie Nicole for recommending her to me. I appreciate you more than you know. Came to the fucking rescue. She knew exactly what I wanted, how I wanted it, which was absolutely amazing. I sent her a picture of the artwork, the color of my outfit, of what I was going to wear. And she was just like, I got you. I have an idea ready. You're going to look amazing. And sure enough, in perfect timing, she handled everything for me. All the while this is going on, my best friends are making sure everything is checked off and everything is ready. And we're checking everybody's ETA at this point, right? Shout out to them again. So by the time I get home after the makeup artist and everything went smooth, I realized that, first of all, my best friend Nat is here waiting for me. Again, shout out to her, because she was here on time and she helped me with this part of the day. So I realized at this point that I had only had a cup of coffee. Now, if you guys know me, you guys know I just need a cup of coffee to function. However, with all that I was doing, I was burning fucking calories. I needed to fucking eat, and I had not eaten a single fucking thing. So there goes problem number 2. When you have these type of days, and I know we know this, but we really need to get this through our fucking heads. We need to make sure we fuel our fucking bodies to function. Like, we need to make sure when we say, oh, we're ready for the show, or we're ready for the test, or we're ready for the performance, or we're ready for the whatever, like, we need to make sure we are fueled mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and fucking physically. Because the last thing I needed was to faint. The last thing I needed was to have a fucking headache because I was fucking starving. So I had to figure out a way to eat something really, really fast. And I still don't remember till this very moment if I did eat anything, because I got so caught up with seeing my friend who I had not seen in over a year. So we go continue with the day. We go grab the cupcakes. Problem number 3. If you have to go pick up something, anything from anywhere that is edible, please make sure you call them in advance and tell them to have it ready. So There Should Always Be Cake is one of our sponsors, and they sponsored some amazing and dope treats that everybody loved. But I should have called them in advance, because right there in that moment, I wasted a good valuable 10 minutes waiting for them to pack up the order. So I should have called them to tell them to do it, because they were just a 3-minute walk away and it would have been done much quicker, right? Okay. Luckily for us, and to the powers of B, and to God, this was by far one of the best Uber drivers I have ever had in my life, because I looked at the time. I said, this is saying I'm arriving at 12:10, sir. Can you get me there before 12? And he said, I could try. Like, the level of praying that I did in the entire ride over there, I had half an hour to get there. The show starts at 12:30. The guests were to arrive by 12. This cab is telling me I am going to arrive at 12:10. This is a problem, because I look like shit. Well, not my makeup. My makeup was popping. Everything else was great. But my clothes, I look like shit. So I needed to change it to my outfit. So I'm praying here. Kudos to that Uber driver. He got me there with 3 minutes to spare. Yeah, about 3 minutes to spare to 12 o'clock. Okay. As soon as I get there, everything is already like so clean, so socially distant. Kudos and shout out to the bar, the location, the venue where I had my event, for pulling through with just what I wanted and just meeting my demands. Well, I asked for things. I didn't demand things, and just helping, confirming the place and helping me put everything together and just meeting my needs and everything that I wanted. It was just so amazing. The customer service, everything was great. Down the road pub, it is a sports bar down in Manhattan in the city. And I'm going to link their information as well. If any New Yorkers are here, please go check them out and support, and tell them Double Dose of Raw Talk sent you. Shout out to Juan, co-owner, friend of the family. I owe you huge, big time. Again, amazing food, amazing customer service, and them tequila shots was lit. Well, it had me lit as fuck. Okay, so I arrived 12 o'clock. I literally have 15, max 20 minutes to get ready because I want to say hi to everybody, right? I want to say hi to everybody. I want to mingle with people. The show needs to start. Everybody is like trying to situate the treats and do the arrangements and make it look presentable and have a whole, scenery going for me, right? They already know where I'm going to sit. The mic is being set up. The music is being set up. My guests are sitting down. I'm over here like, here's the laptop. Let's set it up for the virtual guests. Like food started coming out. Drinks are flowing. Like I needed to get this together. This is where my sister is a true fucking angel to me. She comes to the rescue. She is so clutch. She's in the bathroom helping me get dressed. Okay. First of all, one more shout out to Brazzy Bra. For those of you who have big breasts like I do, and for those of you who have partners who have big breasts like I do, I highly recommend Brazzy Bra. I mean, when you want to get these bad girls up, you're going to get them up. So shout out to them because these girls look hot as fuck in my outfit, which was totally low cut, and it was meant to be that way. And it was meant to draw attention too. That's why it was so damn shiny. By now you guys will see what outfit I have. I'm sure you've seen it already. And I love the outfit. It was absolutely gorgeous. And got ready with the quickness. And here we are connecting virtual. And so we're ready to walk in. We're ready to get this going. My presenter, Naomi from Bagels and Brussels, is there ready to present. The manager of the venue is telling me everything is good. Just let me know when you're ready to talk. I'll turn on the mic. We'll turn on the music. Okay, great. So I go all the way to the back after I say hi to everybody, right? And all the while, you got my girls with Shane, Nikki, you got Nat, you got Erica doing everything else. My sister already settled me down. She's settling all her things to the side. I am ready to come out. My girl Naomi's out at the front, ready to present me. Virtual has been connected. Everybody's being allowed into the virtual stage to see the show. And they are ready to put the music on after Naomi speaks her beautiful introduction to me. And of course, a Bronx girl like myself, a true G. If you know me and you've been listening to these episodes, you know that my anthems are Rough Riders anthem, okay? And so, of course, to pay homage to the late rapper DMX, who was also being honored and viewed on that day in Brooklyn. Yes, your girl came into the Rough Riders anthem because that's the vibe I was in. I was fucking lit. So there. I get up on stage. And guess what happens? By now, it's like everything is running pretty smooth, right? Everything seems to be okay. A lot of prayer has been involved. A lot of well wishes. Just leading it up to the universe and to God and praying that everything goes great. I get to the front. The music stops playing. Everything's all set. And I'm like, where's the mic? I get the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen. I get the microphone. And the microphone is not working. Okay, the microphone is not working. And so you would think it's not that big of a venue. I should be able to just speak to everybody, right? But here's the thing. When you are a podcaster, at least in my head, right? I've been used to having to use the mic. I've been used to needing the mic to speak into, right? Because of the microphone, I'm able to maintain and manage a certain volume. to my voice as well, right? And so here I don't have a microphone. And so it's an open space, right? I don't have headphones, to monitor my volume. I don't have the microphone. It's not working. I have an audience on the virtual stage on the laptop right in front of me. I have an audience that is in front of me in person, socially distancing. So, they're a little bit more further than what I would have loved. And so I need to now execute a show. I need to now speak to my audience. I need to speak to my virtual audience. And I need to do this without a fucking microphone. And I'm over here in the moment that I realized that this shit is not working. And the moment that I realized that I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do this show without a microphone. For 2.5 seconds, my fucking heart stops. And for 2.5 seconds, I'm coaching myself in my head and I'm telling myself, you got this. You could do this, Daisy. Miss D, you got this. Everything's going to be good. You've done this before. You have improvised. You have stood up. You have stood out. You have done it. You figured it out. You always in the last minute. Did I not talk about this in a mini-sode before this one? Right? Well, not this Tuesday, a few ago. I always figure out a plan. I should really be more prepared, but I always figure out a plan, right? Like I got this. I know I could do this. I know I can be successful and get this shit done, right? And so I'm over here like, everything is cool. Calm down. Literally, palms are fucking sweating. My body temperature is hot. I just walked down a little runway-like passageway to my seat. I just rapped to a little bit of Rough Riders anthem. I just tried to get low on these 35-year-old knees. Like, I was like trying to get it together. Like my chest was, a little hyped up. Okay. I did not feel like the walls were closing in on me. It was not that level of anxiety or panic, but I did know that I had to make sure I kept a good management, a good control of my voice without a microphone, to be able to not be shouting to my audience and still be able to execute and deliver my message for that show in that moment. And I think that was, as simple as that may sound, to be not that much of a big deal, right? I mean, who walks around with a microphone all the time to talk? If you need to get up and say a speech, you got to get up and say a speech, right? But that's not the point. See, I didn't draft anything for this. I knew the concepts, I knew the topics, like I mentioned before, of what I wanted to talk about. I didn't draft anything. So I really was going to lead the way with my present moment and all of my emotions and all my truthful self, and being completely honest and vulnerable in that moment with the topics at hand, and just really leave my heart on the table. I wanted to leave it on the mic, but there was no mic, so I had to leave it on the table next to the few shot glasses that I took, right? Tequila. And, in my mind, I thought I was going to have that microphone. I thought I was going to have that level of sensory touch, to have some form of control and to have some form of composure and to have some form of, for lack of a better word, gripping, to feel even stronger while I was having that conversation. And in a sense, after a year and change of podcasting here, the microphone has become it's a form of a tool for me to feel like, I'm on a roll, to feel like I'm going with the flow, to feel like I'm flowing the conversation. And it's also a reminder to keep track for me. It's weird. I know it's crazy, but that's what it has been for me. And so I literally had to establish a different form of management in that moment of myself. Being able to provide myself some serious support at the moment to be able to regain control of my physical state and my mental state and my emotional state so that I don't start stuttering, so that I don't fuck up, so that I don't forget the topics that I wanted to talk about, so that I remember, how raw I wanted to keep it with everyone and make sure that I tell the story the way it needs to be told. And once the show was over, once I was able to share everything that I needed to share, and let me tell you guys something before I say, what it was like to feel, once the show was over, like to look out in the audience and to see friends there, guests come to see you, someone who never even met you a day in their life, but they come to your show to support you face to face, right? In person, to see people's faces, to see emotional faces, to see supportive faces, rooting for you, to see people crying because of what I said, because of what I shared, because of my transparency. My goal was not to make people cry. That's not what it was. I was just gonna, like I said, leave it on the mic. My goal was to be able to share that moment with you guys and be able to let you in even more. If you haven't heard it by now, please go back and listen to Minisode's episode on this Tuesday's Minisode series on a High, which just released earlier this week. I share a little bit of what it was that I did share on that day of the show. And it wasn't easy to be able to reveal that and to share that, but I felt I needed to. There you go. That's it. There's no other explanation here. I felt that I needed to, that it was time to. And so I did. And I don't regret it. I think it was meaningful. I think it was purposeful. I think hopefully it was even relatable to some. And there were other concepts I wanted to tackle, and I was able to. And these are concepts that I've tackled on the show a few times already. But nevertheless, is a never-ending conversation when we talk about, the people you surround yourself with, the people you keep company with, the people who are there for you and who you're there for. Loyalty, respect, friendship. We kind of dibbled and dabbled a little bit with the word envy and what envious means. And, it was real. It was a raw conversation. We were able to highlight that. I was able to highlight that with what the entire meaning of one song, holds in my life, and what lessons I learned from that, and how it's so significant today, and the why, and certain experiences that I've had, and how perfectly imperfect some of us are. And I love that I was able to share that. And after being able to share that, and after being able to close out such a show with so much vulnerability and so much gratitude to everyone, and to see everyone's joy for me, it was at the moment that I got the affirmation, the okay, the approval that planning for the next show starts now. My high is, I'm containing it. I'm getting control over it again, guys, but it's still there. I am beyond excited and even more hyped up, more motivated, more, of course, positively ambitious, while still maintaining humble, because your girl can still keep it humble. Okay, both my feet are still on the ground. I'm beyond excited and ecstatic to plan for the next one, because if I could tell you this that I did not say that day on the show, but I want to leave you guys with this on this episode, the solo episode, which is so reflective of just what the behind the scenes were, and where I nearly fucking shit my fucking pants and my heart came out my fucking mouth. I mean, like, fuck. It was definitely the moment that mic was not working. I'm gonna tell you that much. Who would have fucking thought? Next time, take your own fucking mic, Daisy. How about that? I should have known. I just should have known. Anyway, but I'm gonna leave you guys with this, because this is one of the things that I learned from someone, growing up throughout my years, through conversations. And someone is actually someone who I do look up to and has been one of my protectors. And there's someone who has been there for me in his own unique way. Shout out to my brother Richard. A long time ago, he said, the hardest thing in life to do in anything is the first time. That's the hardest thing in life you could ever do. The first time to anything. So it's either the first time you bungee jump, or the first time you cross the street, the first time you ride a bike, the first time you try liquor, the first time you try some other shit. I'm not going to say anything as to what exactly that other shit is, because, we ain't incriminate nobody. The first time you have sex, the first time you fight, the first time you argue, the first time you, some of y'all are sticky fingers, but maybe, I don't know. The first time you steal some shit, right? The first time you tell a lie. Anything in life that falls under the first time, that is always your hardest time. Because once you do it the first time, once you've taken that step, once you gone beyond that hurdle or that hiccup or that rock or what have you, because let's face it, the first time to everything is not always so easy, right? And even the second or third time, but it's that first time, right? Why? Because sometimes you may have a little bit of fear, you may have a little bit of uncertainty, you may have a little bit of hesitation, you have nervousness, right? There's so much going on in there, right? But once you are done with that first time, that second time around is a little bit easier. It does run a little smoother because now you have experience. Now you already know what you did, how you did it, what worked, what didn't work, and what could work. And on that note, if I may say so myself, Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast will surely be offering another show somewhere in the near future or far future. Who knows? The way you guys will find out, though, is if you sign up to the emailing list. Because that's where I'll be releasing my notifications, any new updates going on with the podcast, going on with the brand itself, Double Dose of Raw Talk. And like I said earlier on in the show, the merch is releasing as soon as you guys listen to this episode. So you don't want to miss it. You want to make sure that you are signed up to the emailing list so that you can get notifications. And I am just so beyond excited with the newest journey of this brand, which is the merchandise. Of course, this is soft launch, but it's so simple and ever so classy. And of course, you know, you're gonna rep for your girl. You're gonna rep for Double Dose of Raw Talk with Miss D, your favorite host as always. And I'm just so happy to have been able to share this experience with you guys, especially the behind the scenes, and give the recognition to everyone that deserves it for just being there for me. I cannot thank you guys enough. I cannot thank you, the listeners, enough for just joining in and tuning in every single week to listen to me talk my mess and just accepting me for who I am. And there's so much more to come for the show. There's so much more to come for conversations. As you guys know, here we get comfortable being uncomfortable and no topic is ever off limits. So this has been yet another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I am your host, Miss T, and as always, you guys will tune in next week. Bye. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and we are live on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Make sure to tell a friend to subscribe, rate, and review. Talk to you later. Bye.